Okay, we're going to go over the class exercise right now, and you should have two files in the Canvas assignment sheet called Dry Mud 02 JPEG and Jennifer Lawrence 02 JPEG, and open them up in Photoshop like we have here. Now, what we want to do is go over the clone stamp tool and remove this area here. Looks like a logo. And we want to learn how to clone stamp. So there's the clone stamp. Now the clone stamp is used in conjunction with the brush tool here. So you want to set your hardness at 80% and click over to any part of the gray area here, and you can get rid of the brush stamp. So you want to set the hardness to about 80%, and you can increase or decrease the size of the brush by your keystroke commands. The right pointing bracket makes it bigger, the left pointing bracket makes it smaller. So what I want to do is go over this area here where her hem meets the flesh tone, and down here the same thing. So I'm going to come over on the bottom first as close as I can before I hit the text. And I want to hit my Alt key, and this goes to the source. You'll see a little target there, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to bring this up, and you'll see the image starts to come up with it. This is the clone stamp tool, and I'm going to come up as far as I can, and I'm trying to match this area here to the best of my ability, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to come over in this area here, and I can make a bigger brush, hold my Alt key down, there's my target, and right click and source that, and I can come down here, and I'm going to come over this way, source it, and over back here and begin to source it here this way. So it looks pretty natural. And I could do the same thing over here and just kind of come down. Now I do want to say right over here there's an align button. Now you want to unclick the align button, and I'll tell you why. So when I make the brush a little smaller and I source it here and I move it up here, you'll see an X on the bottom, or crosshairs. Okay, so we want to I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. Okay, now you might find that it blends a little unusual, so if I hit Control 0, you'll see it might look a little unnatural there, so I'm going to zoom back in, and we can blend that in with the smudge tool right here. Looks like a little finger. Now I can strengthen or weaken it, so I'm going to set it about 30, and I can click in there and actually type in the number 30%, and I'm just going to kind of blur that up. And Control 0 again, and there you have it. Okay, so I can go to File, Save As, save to my computer, and I'm going to call this Jennifer Lawrence 02 Retouch 01. So if I save it, it says I already have it. I'm going to replace that and click OK. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go to the mud, and I selected that image. I'm going to go to Select All, and that has selected the whole image. Control C is Copy. I'm going to copy. I'm going back to the Jennifer Lawrence file, and Control V is Paste. Now I can do that same thing up here. Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste. You'll see Control V, Control C. But I've chosen to do that with my keystroke commands. Okay, so now that I've got that and it's saved, I'm going to turn off layer 1, which is mud, and I'm going to go to the background layer, which is Jennifer Lawrence. With my quick selection tool, I'm going to select the background. And I do want to also select her hair. And her garment here, her jacket. And I've selected a little bit too much, so I'm going to go Alt. Select that part of the ear a little bit. Okay, now I want to select everything except the skin. Now, I could have selected the skin and worked with that, but it's easier in this particular case to select the opposite and then go to Select Inverse. Now I've got the skin, and I want to make a quick mask, because what I'm going to do is blend the texture of the mud onto her skin. So now that I have the quick mask opened up, I'm going to go to my brush and I'm going to paint in her eyeballs, because I don't want the texture to go into her eyeballs or her teeth and lips. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Now also I want to go into under her chin. So this area here, I do not want any texture showing, because I want to separate her chin from her neck. And then also on her nose, I'm going to do the same thing. So it looks like it's a little bit separated, and on her eyebrows as well. So I'm just going over her eyebrows, her eyes, her teeth, her underneath her chin, anywhere I don't want the texture to show. And then I'm going to come back to the quick mask and turn it off. Now I have a selection here. Okay, this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to keep the selection, and I'm going to turn on layer 1 and go to layer 1, and you'll see the selection on the mud right there. This is really important. So now we're working on the mud layer, and I want to open up and create a layer mask just like that. So here's the mud. Once we have it looking like this, I want to go to my blending modes where it says normal here and click on dissolve. Now once I do that, you'll see a blue border, and that means I've activated the selection modes, and I can use my down arrow on my keyboard, and I can begin to select more and more different kinds of blending modes. So here you can see it looks like she's really really cracked, and that is darker color. And I can go to lighter color. Overlay is interesting. It looks pretty good, but soft light looks very nice, almost like, you know, she's just sort of peeling away, and hard light looks even more. So I like the soft light. And what I want to do is sort of blend a little bit. So you can see under here, you don't see the texture. You don't see it on her teeth or her eyes. You don't see it under here. It's a little bit harsh. So if I double click on the mask, the layer mask, I can come down here and select mask, and I'm going to feather it, okay? And I'll click OK. So you'll notice that a lot of these things look a little bit less edgy. I can go back and do it some more and click OK. So more and more, this is very soft, and you don't really see those hard edges so much anymore. Once I've done that, then I have finished the class assignment, and I want to go to Save As, save on my computer, and Retouch 01, and this is a Photoshop file, and that's fine. You want to go to Final, and that'll be my last one, save, and that'll be good. And now I want to make the image that I'm going to post and submit to Canvas. I'm going to File, Save As, save on your computer, and then right here I want to save it as a JPEG now as well. So I have these, and I can save it to Retouch 01 Final Save. I've got that already saved, so I'm going to replace it and click OK. So this is the way that we go ahead and use blending mode. So if you go over the class exercise, you'll see that there are 5 various exercises that I want you to do. Number 1, using your own photographs, is pretty much what we just did here. Number 2, we're going to have 1 image, 1 texture image, a layer mask, blending mode, and 1 adjustment layer, which we did before spring break and this online course adjustment. And then number 3 is 1 image, 1 selected image from another source, copied and pasted into the first image, 2 blending modes and layer mask, and 2 adjustment layers with a layer mask. So we're adding more and more. And then number 4 is add text. So I'm going to show you how you do that. So you're going to take this text here, text tool, and if I go to the layers, okay, I'm on layer 1 here. If I click on here, it adds a text layer. Now, I'm going to go to Window and Character. And right over here, if I undock this, this is my Cooper Black at 48 points. And I'm going to type in Jennifer. And I can take that Jennifer and I can add text to that. Now you can do different things with your text, filter, and you can stylize and add an emboss. So you can rasterize this and click OK, and now we've got different effects on it. So you can add effects to this as well. Okay. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and File, save again, and then I want to go to Save As, a JPEG, and I'm going to save it as again. It already exists, I'll say yes. And we're going to go ahead and I've just saved that one. So I went over the whole assignment. Now, number 5, if you notice all the bulleted items of selection, feathering, copy and pasting, lighting, text, adjustment layers, textures, and also blending modes, okay? You want to go ahead and make a very creative, original image with all of the images that you've already taken in digital photography so far. So you can go ahead and contact me if you have any questions.